Okay, so today we got a new radio. This is another Stryker 955 HPC Plus. This one is for James in the state of Maine. So I'll get this one set up for you. And this is going to be yours right here. So it ends in 1854. So I'll come back when I got it converted over, and I'll do the PC programming that I do. And then we'll get your radio on the test equipment and show it really quick and test it out on the meter. And probably won't go on the air today with anything because there's not much going on. The only skip I'm getting is from the Dominican Republic. So I did talk to a guy on channel 9. I think he was 000. That was pretty cool. He said he used to live in Michigan, so that was cool. But there's a lot of Puerto Rican guys out there speaking, I guess, to the East Coast. And I can't hear the East Coast U.S., nor can I hear Florida. All I hear is Puerto Rico, really. So unfortunately, I don't speak Spanish, or else I could have some fun talking with those guys. But so other than that, there's some locals, and you guys wouldn't want to hear what they're talking about because it gets a little strange sometimes on the local front. So we'll just do the receiver test on the equipment here for today and call it what it is. So I'll get this one set up. Just some updates. I guess I'll try to do some updates on the video. So once I'm sold out of some radios that I have here, that's going to be it for a while. Very low on Washington's. I have a few George radios left. I think with the George you also get a choice of the free President mic. I have very few of the QT80s left. I think I sold my last QT60 Pro yesterday. And that's pretty much it for the new radios. I do have a 69 Base Plus here. I'm waiting on a part for it. I could show you guys on a different video the little adhesive. You know, if you look at the display of that base station where it shows like what mode you're on and what mode it actually is, that's a little, it's a little like piece that adhesives onto the rest of the front panel of the radio, and I guess maybe that came off. You know, they didn't put enough adhesive on it or something. So that's the only thing I saw wrong with that radio. And it was supposed to go to a friend of mine, but he decided he didn't want it, which is fine. So I will be getting that one set up later when I get time. Ranger's sending me that new adhesive part to stick on there. I just have to disassemble the whole front of the radio to do that. It's not a big deal. It's actually a learning experience. I don't mind doing that, but I will have that up on the site eventually with the full alignment. If you're interested in that, it will be there. It'll probably be a kind of a more expensive radio, number one, because they do cost more, the base stations. But I mean, if you like a base station, I've had no problem with my alignment talking on that thing, sideband, whatever. It's doing a fine job. So, you know, take it for what it is. You guys may have lost confidence in them, in Ranger and whatnot, but I have to tell you, I'm really impressed with that radio. So it's all I've been wanting to talk on, and I got plenty of other good radios to talk on here. So I thought maybe it was just, you know, you get a new radio and you kind of go with it for a while, but I don't know, it's just I really just enjoy that bass. So we'll get yours out, James, and get it started. But yeah, once I'm sold out of some new radios, like I said, I'm gonna take a break because I got other things to do within the business, and I have, you know, some stuff to ship out to get repaired, and then I have about 8 pre-owned Radio Oddity branded radios. Once I get the other stuff situated and sent out, then I'll start focusing on those and get those set up and hopefully get those shipped out when people buy them, once I put them on my website in a timely manner. So when you see like one of those pre-owned videos pop up on YouTube or something, that means it's ready, and you order it, it would ship as soon as possible. Somebody asked me about a pre-owned Quad 6. I do have one here. I believe I've already checked it out, but again, I don't have time right now to do the pre-owned. Somebody else on YouTube asked about a pre-owned QT40. And I do have one of those here too. So again, it's just I don't have the time to. I have to dedicate time for, like, if I'm going to do new radio sales, then that's all I really do. If I'm going to do some pre-owned radios, then that's all I can really do. I can't do one, and I can only do what I can do. So that's why I'm going to let the new stuff sell out for a while, and focus on getting my radio sent out for repair that I need to, and then do the pre-owned ones, and then maybe take a little break for a while and focus on some of my own gear. But these do have the programming cable and all that other fun stuff with it. Personally, I wouldn't use the mic that comes with it, but to each his own on that. I prefer the wide frequency response and the good crisp audio that the KPO mics provide, but I'm getting super low on those too. I think I actually just sold out my last 6-pin yesterday. Of course, I kept one for myself, and I can't part with that one, but I do have some 4-pins, and I do have some 6 pins of the Echo variant left too. So, but that's all I really have on those. I'm hoping to get restocked on those this hopefully before summer is what I was told. So, and I'm probably going to order the same amount as I did last year, so that way I stock up for the whole year and just have them in one shot. I still have DX 5000 Plus. Those will stay on the website as to order. Maybe when I get time, I'll offer the battery eliminator mod with those. I was thinking about doing it, and I did one, and it's worked out good. I've had no issues with it. If I do the battery eliminator mod option, it'll be on the site, and I'll probably include like a 4-pin extension cable for the radio with that. So that way, when you have that special mic that you're using only for that radio, which would be the NM532, the P4. Of course, I'd have to set some of those aside specifically for that only. That would be the main thing there. So, that would take away from guys being able to order them individually. But I think I got the camera looking pretty good now, color and everything. I was messing with it earlier. I found a thing online to where I can have like a battery that sticks in the bottom instead of the actual Sony battery, which is here, that goes dead all the time. So now I have like a battery that plugs in the wall, and it just sticks in the bottom of the camera. So it should be on pretty much all the time now when I'm filming or whatever. It's not going to go dead on me. And then when I need to transfer over from the camera to my phone, I have a USB-C that I can just connect one to the other. And that was another problem where like the filming on the memory card in the camera, if the battery was going dead, then I had to wait for the battery to charge, and the camera, it was just a pain in the butt. So anyways, here's the radio. I'm going to get ready to convert it. So that's pretty much what's going on. I'm not really taking on, of course I don't repair radios or anything like that. I mean, I have my own radios I'd like to do recaps on and stuff like that for my own personal needs, and I don't even have time to do that. So, and of course I'm not going to recap something unless I feel like it needs it, but I have some radios here that definitely need some TLC, and that's going to be what I'm going to do when I take a little break for a while, a couple months or so after I finish up everything. I want to clear some stuff out of here and get rid of all these pre-owned radios and get the ones back that are apparently going to get fixed or replaced, or however they're going to do it, get those sold, and then maybe towards the end of summer or something I'll order some new radio sales to sell again or something like that. I probably will just stick with like Stryker and President for the most part. Maybe I'll do some more Ranger stuff, I don't know. They seem to be pretty good to work with so far. I've been pretty happy with how they've been treating me and stuff like that, so I really can't complain. Dealing directly with Ranger in regards to getting parts and stuff like that. So far so good. Pretty happy. They answer emails pretty fast and stuff like that, so it's been kind of a pleasant experience dealing with them, which is cool. I hope they do well with some of their new models and stuff that they got coming out. But anyhow, I'll get this one set up and I'll be back. Okay, so we got the radio all set up for you here. So we're just gonna put the lid back on it and get it back together. So when I fire it up, it should go right on to all the frequency options that we want. So I did I did put a different mic on the camera, so this one's clipped to my shirt. I forgot I had it. So hopefully you guys can hear me better on the video, you know, especially when I move the camera away or whatever, or you know, if I slide off to the left or something, at least the camera or the microphone stays with me now, if you know what I mean. So again, I'm not really good at doing the video, so it is what it is, but I do them because I think guys like them and that kind of thing. So we'll get this situated here in a minute, and then I think I'm going to set one of these up for myself this weekend before I go back to work on Monday and stick it out in my car. So, because I'm curious to see on this if it's quieter on SSB than my QT80 out there, because man, I just, for whatever reason lately, that QT80 has been driving me nuts on SSB with that. It's got like this snap, crackle, pop sound in it. You know, the noise blanker, it works a little bit, but you know, it doesn't allow you to have an A&L circuit, and neither did the original Quad 6. It didn't have an A&L at all, but on the original Quad 6 it was never as noisy on SSB as what this QT80 is. So it's really been bothering me because the skip kind of has died off some, so we're hearing more of just quiet, you know, time to time it's quiet, and it's not there's not as much like boom and skip coming in, so you're gonna hear that noise more, because when the skip is booming in plus 10 or more, 9 plus or whatever, you know, it really, you don't really notice it. But man, when it's quiet out there, it really is starting to really bug me. So well, it could just be, you know, older vehicles maybe. I have a 2016, so it's not super old, but I would assume that newer vehicles would make even more noise because of all the computerized stuff that they have. And you know, I don't know what to say on that. So well, let's fire this up and we'll see what happens here. So yeah, it should be good to go. So we don't have to do anything. We don't have to hold any buttons or anything when we turn it on. I'm gonna go to orange, because I like the orange. So this is what I mean right here. You see when we go to, hey, we're already on, let's go to upper sideband. So we have our noise blanker on only, we have nothing, then we have A&L and noise blanker on. So this one does have an A&L circuit on sideband, which I think that's really going to help. Do I really want to put one of these out in my car? Not really, but I want to have a quieter receiver, and I do like the feature set that this radio has a lot, and it's a powerful radio. It's probably the best AM radio I could put out there, honestly, and I do a lot of talking on AM too, so I don't think I'm really gonna be unhappy, but I would prefer to keep what I have just because I'm lazy and I don't want to switch anything out. But I just, for the life of me, cannot stand that snap, crackle, pop sound that it has, and it's just it's driving me nuts. So, and you know, I can turn the RF gain down on the QT80 and I can make it quieter, but then again I lose all the signals. Or I can make people come in a little clearer with the RF gain down, but then I can't hear them. I can turn that volume up all the way and you still can't hear them. You need to have like a powered speaker out there, and you know, how far do you need to take it just for something that maybe they could have just incorporated a better noise blanker or a A&L circuit with noise blanker on SSB. I don't know. I'm not knocking the radio, but I've had my fill of it out there, and I'm ready to try something else. So let's see here. I'm not gonna, you know, if there's something I don't like about something, I'm not gonna sit here and kind of sugarcoat it, you know. I mean, I use these radios too, and every radio has pluses and minuses. So these radios, these Strykers, I mean, I'm okay with how they look. I prefer the black knobs. It's personal preference. I'd put black knobs on it probably if I put it out there. I'll just take them off one of my DX5000s and stick those black knobs on. I think it really sets the radio off, but that's just what I like. It doesn't mean that, you know, somebody wouldn't like how this radio looks. Just what I like is what I like. So, oh, I guess we got to plug in the cable. That would help. Oops. So, and now we can communicate with the radio. So, all right. So while it's doing that, there's not really much I can really do until it's done, but I'll get my stuff set up here to do our first few checks. So I always do the frequency check first, and then FM and AM and sideband and that whatnot. So I don't know if the audio is going to be too loud, so it could be too loud. You know, I know before it was probably too quiet, so it's going to be a work in progress here on what we need to do to make it right. Somebody just commented on my YouTube. Rondell Schuyler 7074. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that. What you just said. President makes a very good radio, quality through and through. And he says, with me and President, you can't go wrong. Well, I appreciate that, but it's more what President's doing than what I'm doing. I don't take any credit for that. And these guys make a good radio too. I mean, they're all good radios, like I said, in their own way. So no matter what you do. All right, so it's probably going to be really, really loud on the video. There's a denoise option I can do on the editing, so I'll try that when it happens. Alright, so here we go. So it's going to be 50 on FM high and 1 on low. So just want to check the frequency. So this one's pretty much spot on out of the box, so that's good. Don't have to mess with that at all. So we're happy with that. I'll come over here to the power meter. Sorry, I'm moving this thing all over the place. And like I say, I'm not very good, so let's turn up the power. That's good right there, I think. And then low, somewhere around 1 watt. That's close enough there. Okay. Then we'll do our FM mod, which is simple. We just turn it up all the way, as I've already shown before. And we want to make sure that it's at the maximum. I usually just drop it back 1 just because, but I'll go FM and just check it just because. 3.93. So .93. Okay. And now we'll just do the AM power. I'm going to leave the high power exactly where it is, which is about 22. So that's where I'm going to leave it. And then low power, I'm going to make it 1. just below 1. It's about 0.96. And then we'll do our mod. I just texted one of my customers. He had a Quad 6 Pro in his mobile, and he went to the 955 Plus, and I was wondering what he says about if it's quieter on the receive, on sideband, on Stryker. And if he gives me a good indication that it is, that'll give me a better opportunity to know what I'm going to do. Otherwise, I'm going back to old school and putting that Grand XL back in there, because I figure I can't go wrong there. Okay, so about 67% right now. Let's see, we got to bump that up. Okay, so it's flatlined right now, so it's too much. You see it rounded off, so you can pretty much see what we're looking at there. Let's get the oscilloscope plugged in.
Here, I have both.
There's the oscilloscope. Start over. These radios have a little bit of like noise, I've noticed, on the carrier. So there's a lot of things that I think this enhancement board, this voltage board on these radios is doing that, you know, honestly, I'm not really a huge fan of it. What this board does is give you more power. So if you're a power type of person, you probably don't mind having that board, but I'm not really. I would have much rather just saw the updates happen to the radio and maybe just left it at the 60, 70 watts that the others did. I don't know. Again, I can always hook up some type of amp if I want more power after the fact, so it's about right where it needs to be. Any more than that, it's pinching. And again, this is low power, so it's not like it's, you know, we're probably never going to run it there, but okay, this is high power side. That's at about 95% right now. There's also a little bit of, which we've shown that and talked about that in the past. See this little like ripple? That's from that vertical board that's on the enhancement board for the voltage ramp up. I believe that's what causes that. So the V2 doesn't have that board and it doesn't do that. So, you know, personally, I like the feature set of this radio better. So I would say that, you know, for my taste, it's a better radio. I like having the noise reduction option on the front versus a Roger beep that's kind of useless for most. I mean, if you want to turn it on, you could turn it on in the menu, but I like the NOAA weather option for the vehicle. That's really good. So, you know, and the power isn't really terrible. I just wish they would have done it a different way, maybe, and maybe used a more rugged transistor or something. Maybe something more like the ham radios have that can give you that full 100 even on FM. I think it probably just comes down to cost. These radios would cost a lot more, but that looks pretty good there, so I don't want to really go too aggressive. Let me see. Well, it's still pretty round, so that's 100% on the tone right there, so kind of losing focus here a little bit.
It gets a little hard to look at it. Let me shrink it down some. This still looks round to me. That's basically what I want to check. It still looks like if I put my finger there, my finger's not perfectly like flattened off, and you can see. So I'm just going to back it off just a little bit. I'm going to call that good. So obviously it's going to really do good outside of the tone and stuff. So let's take a look here. It looks really nice. It looks really nice. So yeah, I mean, you can always back it down some with your mic gain. 99 point. Yeah, he says, yeah, it's much quieter by a mile. Not asking about the noise reduction circuit, just the noise blanker and A&L circuit when you use it on SSB on the 955 Plus versus the Q6 Pro. See what he says to that. A little bit of voice text anyways. So that part's done. Okay, let's go to sideband now and set that up. I think out in the car, really, when you're using a radio mobile, it's a true test of like how good it actually is, because when we're out in our vehicles, there's so many different factors that our radios are going to. Yeah, he says it works better with those settings on the A&L and noise blanker. Okay, thanks. Sometimes when we're using them in our house on our base antennas and stuff like that, we're not always affected by various factors of, you know, traffic signals and all this other stuff that we might get affected by in our base state or in our mobile. So it's good sometimes, I think, you know, and if I ever get sent any more prototype radios to test, I'm definitely going to put them right out in my car. And that'll give me a better understanding of, okay, what are they going to do mobile, especially when it's a mobile radio. Then obviously we already know that people are going to want to use it in their car, so it's got to be good for the car first, and then everything else should fall into place. Okay, so there's our two-tone. It's about lined up as good as I can get them anyway. So there's how it looks. So you can see it's all squared off and stuff, so it's definitely not desirable there. So take our measurement, so they're always about 12. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but right here. So I'm just gonna zoom out so we can kind of see both and make my changes. And I go about 20, 21 on these, and you can see the big difference that it makes. Look how much nicer and rounder that looks. I mean, it's just a night and day difference. So that's the name of the game. get your money's worth and get it done right, I guess is what I would say. And you know, I'm not even charging for this, and I think maybe later I'm probably selling myself short here by not charging. So maybe later I might have to, if everybody else is charging, they're not offering what I'm offering, and maybe I should charge. I don't know. If I want to get more serious about it, I guess I probably should, since everybody else is charging and whatever. But I'm kind of happy with the way things are going, so it is what it is. So this radio is pretty darn hot right now, let's just say that. But I guess we'll just jump right into the power. So this is going to be like, if you've been talking on this thing for a long time kind of scenario, power wise, this is what you're going to see. So oops, we don't want a tone. I thought I plugged my mic in. Here's the mic. This is a KPO Echo mic. The gain is up maybe a quarter of the way up. And again, this is single sideband right here. Hello radio, 1 2 3, 1 2 3 4, check check, hello 1 2 1 2. So, you know, what we're seeing right now is pretty comparable to what the radio should do. Obviously, the other way that it was set up from the factory, it's probably going to bang the 100 watts or more every single thing you say, but I wouldn't want that, and I don't think anybody should want that either. This is a much better way to run a sideband setup. It's got to be really clean on sideband. There's really no way around it. Yes. Yeah, just a second. I'll help you. And then here's how it looks on sideband right here. 1 2 3 4 5. Check 1 2. So about 4K. Kind of a steep roll off right around the 4K. And then AM. 1 2 3 1 2 3. So it's a little aggressive, but it's not like crazy aggressive, but definitely more aggressive on these than other radios, which is kind of their strong point. And then here's the power meter again. So it's dead keying somewhere around the 20s, and then you can see it's going over 100 on AM, and it's drawing a little over 6 amps, and it's swinging to about 7.5 amps. So if we do want to back our mic gain down ever so slightly, you can do that, and yeah, it does work. So obviously, if you want to clean up the signal, you're not really losing much top end on PEP at all, but you can see what happens here. So let's get this back over here. So the mic gain is now all the way up, and I don't know if you can see, it's just a little bit more widened on the transmit signal. And then this is at 12 o'clock right here, so it does clean it up just a little bit. And then when you turn it down to about a quarter of the way up, you can see how you lose some of that frequency response around that area. So it does make a difference. If you were like using this as a truck driver or something, you probably wouldn't need to have the mic gain all the way up, unless you're using like a noise canceling mic, something that really like muffles the audio or really like constricts the audio, like a dynamic noise canceller or something. Then you probably do need to run the mic gain all the way up. But if you're just running like an amplified mic like I'm running, then, you know, if you're close talking with somebody, don't run it like that all the way up, because you don't need to blast them out of their truck, that kind of thing. So that's my word of advice there. But that's pretty much it for the transmit. So I'll come back in a little bit here and I'll show you the receiver, and then yours is all set. So here it is. And again, it's going to bang the scale on transmit on AM. On SSB, you're going to see about 20 to 30 to 40, and that's about what they all show. So it doesn't show much there. Don't be worried by that. All right. Okay, James. So I'm back on the radio. So I'm just about done with it. Oh, well, actually, the radio is done, but I was going to show you the receiver. So I just wanted to show you the transmit one last time, because this is basically like if you were just riding around mobile or something, you're not really talking, you're just listening, or you just got it on the base station, you're just kind of copying the mail or something. This is how the radio would perform when it's not super hot like it was when I was testing it. So let's show you that really quick. Let's see if we can get that to sit still there, just about like that. That'll be good. So first we're gonna kill the mic gain. This is AM, by the way, so drop the dead key down to about 8 watts. It's close enough there. So this thing will swing really good from down there even. So 1 2 3, 1 2 3, check check, hello. So you know, you got a lot of gain here. You know, this is pretty comparable to that 69 Base Plus that I use. It's very much almost the same kind of output on this radio is what that one does. So this radio would do an excellent job. Again, driving that single GI46B amp that I have there. It needs about 8 watts, 9 watts of carrier to produce about 100 watts carrier, and then it swings about 900 to a kilowatt out. So this would be a perfect match for that radio or that amplifier. This would be a great driver for it. You know, you wouldn't want to put the 22 or whatever dead key into it. That's way too high. But you know, the average on this is going to be 1 2 3 4 5, check check. So almost 3 times the carrier at times. So it's doing pretty good. The little W is always the average. So you know, and then if we go to SSB, I can show you where the RF power level is on the radio right now. So it's right there. So it's what, 1 o'clock or something maybe. That's why I say I wish they would make a base, put this format in a base cabinet or something, like a real base, not just like a 3D printed thing that somebody sticks this into, you know, like a real base. Make a real base with this board. It would be really cool. But again, I don't think they ever will. So this is what the radio does at about 1 o'clock. So this would be more like your V2, kind of the power of the V2 955, which really isn't that bad, but you know, it's doing a little bit, you know, less power than what this does. So if you turn it back up all the way, this is back up all the way now, and it'll do closer to that 100 watt mark. So it's not really a big noticeable gain or anything, but you know, the guys like to see more power. This is going to be a little bit more power, as you can see there. So again, it's all what you want it to do, and it's a very aggressive and good performing radio on AM, and also really good on sideband. So just wanted to show that one last time, and now I'll just do the receiver. This is kind of a long one, but it's all right. I'm curious to see how the camera's working out, and I don't mind when I'm kind of relaxing in here and just chilling out, doing a little bit longer video. So they're not all going to be like this, but every once in a while it's kind of fun. So let's plug in the other cable here. I think I got a QT80 to do in the morning. And sometime tomorrow anyways. And then I got a couple more Washingtons, and I think there's another Stryker in there somewhere. I'll get to those when I can. Alright, let's see what it's doing on the receive side. So we'll just set this up for AM. Okay, and there's about minus 113, so let's come back over here, take a quick peek there, and then there's that up there. Get this thing to sit still, it's like at the extent where it doesn't want to, there we go. So that's your AM, which is good. Upper sideband. Should help if I had the clarifier centered, sorry. And there's 128 right there, so that looks pretty good too. Well, that's pretty much it. It's a good receiving, and it's really hard to get this thing to go lower because I'm kind of at like the extent of the mount that I'm using there, so it doesn't bend any farther down going this direction. But yep, that's pretty much it for it there, James. So like I say, I'll get this one boxed up and it'll be shipping off to you on Monday. So hope you enjoy it when you get it. And 73, hopefully I can get some time. I'd like to try one of these in my mobile. If I don't, then I'm going old school with the Grand XL. 73.